Paige. I go to the University of Florida and I did the summer in Costa Rica program this past summer.
Why did you choose CIS abroad?
The main reason that I chose the CIS and more specifically Costa Rica was because it fit into my academic plan. So I'm a pre-health student, so I didn't really know if studying abroad was something that was really possible. I looked through a bunch of the programs through my school, nothing fit, but I was able to take classes this past summer that furthered my like academic plan, and it wasn't like additional courses, but rather courses I could have taken here that I was able to take there.
What factors influence your decision to select this program?
So the main factor for me was it being like feasible academically, but then also cost, excursions, homestay, and language learning. I took Spanish all throughout high school, and it was something that I wanted to like further develop, and I wasn't able to further it here at my university just for like the requirements that didn't fit into my 4-year plan. So studying abroad in a Spanish speaking area was definitely a main goal of mine so that I could like further help people in medicine, and in the hospital when dealing with like Latin speaking patients.
Can you give some tips on surviving the first 2 weeks on site?
My, I guess, main piece of advice would be bring little pieces of home, and like maybe just like a picture to put in your room or like scheduling FaceTimes with your family or friends on the first few weeks just so you can like easily adjust. But also, I'm very much just a jump right into it person. So I went into it completely with an open mind and didn't really know what to expect. And I feel like I was able to easily adjust that way, just because I had no prior expectations on what it was going to be like, what my homestay would be like, who I was really going to be living with. So just also journaling, that really helped me, which wasn't something I did a lot at home, but it allowed me to like stay in the moment, and also actually like, get my feelings out, rather than like trying to like talk to someone about it.
What was your favorite class and why?
My favorite class was health psychology. This was very interesting to me. It was a class that I would have taken here, but given that I took it in Costa Rica, it was a completely different experience. I mean, first of all, they don't have exams in Costa Rica, which I feel like has something to do about them being one of the happiest countries in the world. Just my opinion. But so it was really cool because I was learning from someone who is a psychologist in Costa Rica, and they're obviously more like holistic, different types of medicine. So it's just a completely different experience, and I was able to like get a full picture of what psychology may be, which is a field that I'm interested in pursuing.
How are your classes compared to classes in the US?
As I said, they weren't really any exams, actually none for any of the classes I took, but that doesn't mean that my classes were easy. They were just like a different type. So they had like it was like team-based, collaborative, holistic assignments that were more well-rounded to like different like personalities basically. In my psychology class, I had a bunch of different presentations that I had to put on, which in themselves were very difficult because I was presenting for an hour at a time, so it got me out of my comfort zone and was something definitely different than what I would have done in the US.
Can you tell us more about your housing and commute to school?
I was in a homestay. I was with one other CIS student, and in my homestay, there were 4 children like in the family, and then obviously a mom and a dad. And then our walk to school was about 10 minutes maximum. And I believe that we were actually one of the farthest houses from the school. So there weren't really any commutes past that. And my host mom's mom actually also had a house of students. So that was really cool.
What was your favorite part of your program?
I would say the people, and also in not just like an, oh, I met like cool people, but more in like they helped transform me more into like unique parts of myself that I didn't really know were like a part of me. And I feel like this happens anytime you may leave the country where you're like exposed to something new, you find new parts of yourself that you don't know about, or like you weren't watering back home basically. And so like being surrounded by like-minded people, it was able to like get me out of my comfort zone, and I was able to do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have said yes to at home or like with my friends or family from back home. So not only the connections that I made like with my host family and like still having people that I can text and like practice my Spanish with, and also like my teachers, they were great, but also just the people in my group that kind of pushed me to better myself.
What was your favorite excursion?
So I have probably top two, but they're related. So my first one was Jaco and Manuel Antonio, which is a national park there. That was like a combined weekend trip. And there I learned to surf, which was really big for me. I had a bad experience with water when I was little, and I feel like I just kind of never really enjoyed like the ocean as much. I love the beach. I live in Florida, so I'm a beach person, but like going in the water and being comfortable in the water, it wasn't really there. But like the people that I was with who like pushed me to like try it and maybe I would love surfing, I tried it. I loved it. I was able to get up on the board. So exciting. Which is also why I skateboard now because it's like a surf skate. So it just full picture. And then my second favorite is the Curubande and Tamarindo trip. There, I also surfed, which is probably why it's also my favorite. But in Curubande, we like hiked for a waterfall. And that was probably, if not one of the most beautiful like places I've ever been, like naturally beautiful. I mean, wow. I was like speechless when I got there. It was like inspiring because when I'm like home, I don't really do a lot of like nature stuff. Like I'm a busy student. I grew up in New York, but not like upstate, so I'm not used to mountains or like nature. Like close to the city, like I never really was able to like be in touch with nature. So seeing that and like it was beautiful. I don't know. Those were my favorite trips. Yeah.
How did your on-site director impact your time abroad?
Lisa is our on-site director. She's amazing. She impacted our time abroad. I feel like I could speak for everyone because we talked about it a lot when we were there, but she was kind of like our mom, not like our host mom. Obviously, they were our like moms while we were there, but she was like checking in on us, calling us sweetie. Like it was just very homey and it made us feel comfortable. While also like having like a native from the country that we're at, she was able to like give us tricks like where to go, where not to go, how to be safe, how to be comfortable. And also just like traveling with her was really fun because she was able to like tell us stories and like why these are her favorite places, what she recommends, what she doesn't. And I don't know, she like made me feel home when I was there.
Can you share tips on transitioning from being on site to coming back home?
So same thing with how I was able to transition like going. I would say like keep parts of what you did there with you. I mean, I skateboard now. That's one perfect example. I journaled a lot more when I got home. I did yoga, which I used to do with my host brother. I kept journaling and like reflected about my trip like overall and not just like a daily thing. And I kind of like I didn't distance myself, but I gave myself like the time I needed to like reflect on like what happened, how I may have changed, how this may impact like my relationships at home. Yeah, I just tried to like keep little parts of Costa Rica with me. I mean, I made yuca when I got home. So yeah, my family was very confused on it, but I loved it. So yeah.
What surprised you about your time abroad?
The main thing that surprised me was how fast it went by. I don't know. I feel like I had just gotten there and then I was like, wait, I'm leaving in a week. And it seems scary like thinking about it that way, but like I was just very in the moment and very present. And I was so busy, like classes, and then weekends we had excursions, and like just throwing myself full at all that like I could have done. And I'm really glad that I did that. Just because I feel like I was able to like experience the most of what I was offered. But definitely just how fast it flew by was my biggest surprise. I thought I was going to be there for a while and I was going to get homesick. And while there were times that I was missing home, I wouldn't trade it for the world.